about the 2 to 500 meter depths along Point Conception area, Santa Maria Basin. Just
Do you want me to
because
bring you off the wall more?
huge diversity of solitary cup corals,
Okay.
big coral,
I
colonial
thought we'd
corals.
be coming more into a divot, but yeah.
Very diverse.
What do we got coming up here? Is this a stalked sponge,
We're
or
so
is it
far
a
away.
coral?
I think it's a stalk sponge.
I think so.
We're so far, I'm not going to risk a name yet.
Okay.
I can't help it. I'm risking a name. I think it's Sacocalix.
Mm.
Now let's see if
can't
I'm
help
right
yourself.
once we
Throw
get closer.
caution to the wind.
I
Can
know.
go zoom in on it and see if you're wrong?
You
Aw,
mean see if I'm right, Mike? Oh my gosh, I'm sticking with that.
I'll take sponges
like I
for
just
200, Alex.
Upped my
Yeah,
sponge
yeah.
game.
This is definitely a sponge.
Sacrocalix, that's it.
That is very cool.
That's my
That
best
is
guess.
Wow.
Yeah, even with
Cauliflower
close-up view.
sponge.
I would think that looks like cauliflower.
Yeah.
That's
Nice driving.
Sacocalix.
It's a
That's
good-looking
really far
sponge.
It
away.
is a good-looking sponge.
I know, you're making it.
Thanks for
I'm
that,
sorry.
Mike.
Wayne's making it challenging for me. I gotta come in from
Well,
the
he's
outer
reducing.
reaches.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. We'll get framed up here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's a dance with
Okay.
focus
Oh, yeah.
Look
light
at that osculum.
and vehicle. Full wide.
No, it's Argus can't come down any lower.
Oh,
this
okay.
This is obviously exactly where we get told.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Go in again. Wayne.
Okay, one more
Forward,
push.
kind of.
Yeah,
One
look at the
more
Argus
final
view.
push.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've gotten some
Alright.
pictures of the Argus view as well.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like one lone sponge.
Thank you.
Yep.
This was a
Yep.
very nice Sacocalix.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
So that's been living there a long time. I would
There we
imagine.
go.
Neat.
That structure is
Wow.
hard
Yeah,
Look at
that's,
the
to
look
withstand
at all the
that.
critters associated with it.
that's the teamwork shot right there.
Yep.
That is so cool.
Wonder if anything's inside.
Okay, come on wide.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoot
Okay,
back
coming
up the hill here.
Coming wide. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thank you.
So we do see a number of grenadiers just kind of swimming in and out of the frame. I don't know if they use the lights of the ROV to spot or hunt prey. I feel like we light up a pretty bright area, so anything that might think that it is prey would run away. But
They eat almost anything and scavenge a lot.
Nope.
So if they sense a disturbance, they're gonna come running.
aha, so we do. I guess we do affect their lives.
may.
There we
There's a
go.
larvation in view in Argus's camera right
Yep,
now.
yep.
There's a what?
It's gone. It was
It's
a
gone.
larvation.
Floated by.
Is that a colonial sea squirt?
Actually,
Or was
larvations
that-
are
they're not-
solitary.
Okay, they're solitary.
But they make these mucus houses that they inflate with water, and the mucus houses have meshes and channels so that water flows through them and particles are captured.
Uh-huh.
And then they
They eat the house?
slurp up. Well, they slurp up part of it, yes.
Okay.
And the rest of it is discarded and sinks to the seafloor.
Oh, that was a tasty house. I think I'll build a new one.
Are we like right in the thick of the purple stuff still, Aaron?
Yeah, it looks like it. Sorry, a little upslope. We're right there. We're progressively moving out there, but I don't know, we could try. Do you have any room to do anything laterally or vertically up and down?
No, if we wanted to go down deeper into it, you'd have to pull us off a little tiny bit.
Okay. Science, do you have any interest in going up and down vertically?
We're trying to look for structure along this contour, and maybe if the contours get closer together, we might find more diversity along the wall. So if you see hard structure in your sonar, let us know, and maybe we'll follow it. But we just want to run along this wall
Okay.
See what we
copy.
find. We've had some pockets of structure.
All right, so for those of you who are just joining us, we have a large online population going on right now at nautiluslive.org. Thank you so much for exploring with us. We are at the Davidson Seamount in the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So we are cruising along the southeast side of the seamount, kind of along sort of a contour edge or slope. And this area has never been explored, so you guys are exploring it with us for the very first time. We are not entirely sure what we are going to come across, but we're going to continue to explore. We're at a very early stage in our dive, so we've got lots more to look for.
And that's the dark grenadier?
That is likely Corphonortes armatus, the abyssal grenadier.
Uh-huh.
It can sometimes be confused with the rough abyssal grenadier, but I'm going to guess this is armatus, the abyssal grenadier.
Okay.
And I've got a social media update from Sam, and she said she had just posted our video of the newborn octopus fighting a shrimp.
Uh-huh.
The octopus wins, spoiler alert. So it's posted on the website in our photos and videos, so everybody who's watching, you can go check that out. It was a very cool interaction that happened.
That's likely a Phaeodarian drifting by.
Where?
Down to the bottom of the screen now. I'll keep pointing them out.
Okay.
Phaeodarians are plankton drifting foraminiferans. So
Really?
we talked about foraminiferans with the xenophyophores, which live on the sediment and rock surface.
Right.
Phaeodarians drift along
I think
in
as
the
long
water.
as we're in the tight contours.
So
unless-
I see.
Unless
So xenophyophores are forams?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, they're arguably forams.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you on
move around a
Copilot
bit.
then.
They move around a bit
It's
taxonomically,
just
but they're
faint.
sarcodines.
It might just be the levels or something like that.
That happened during our watch when we saw the octopus hatching from the egg and the shrimp.
We won't say who won the battle.
No, no spoilers.
You'll have
Oh.
to see it for yourself.
Danny already did spoiler.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Danny.
But we
That's
won't
okay.
say it again.
Give a spoiler alert.
I definitely spoiled it, but
But it was good news
yes.
for one of them.
Well, yes, if you like octopus.
The underdog won.
You should
Yeah.
definitely still go check it out.
Yes,
It is such a great
it makes for
interaction.
gripping entertainment.
There's one of your favorite stars down there.
I think so.
Yeah.
want to zoom on it?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Yes, my favorite sea star buddies.
That looks like, or that reminds me of the pteraster that we saw up in Hecate Strait.
Really?
Yeah.
When were you in Hecate Strait?
That's where I did my postdoc work.
Really?
Mhm. And I
Looks
worked in the
like he
Strait
has
of
a
Georgia for
coin
my
on top
PhD
of
work.
him. I know he doesn't, but it,
Up amongst the Queen Charlotte Islands.
Yes, that's right. And down under the water, sponges form reefs.
Up there.
Up there.
Uh-huh.
It's so cool.
And that was diving depth?
No, it was not. They were between 70 and 170 meters.
Were you
depending on where
using
we were.
an ROV?
Yes, we were
Okay.
using the ROV Ropos. I
Okay.
met Mike here, our ROV
Okay,
pilot.
okay, great.
Thank you for the zoom.
So what's going on? They have a move in, but they're not making progress? Yeah, okay. What's the weather?
So I had a question of whether grenadiers taste like cod. They look like cod. Do they taste like cod? Has anyone ever tried a
The grenadier?
grenadier?
The Pacific grenadier is often sold in stores,
Oh, it is?
and it's can be cooked like a rockfish. Little garlic and butter. It has a white, mild flavor. I don't eat fish, but this is what I've been told.
So it sounds like it could be something similar. I have not tried that one yet. If I get an opportunity, I absolutely will, and I'll let you guys know somehow. I'll tweet about it. How's that?
Okay.
So Erica, is not eating fish an ethical decision for you?
It is today, but growing up, I just never liked fish.
Okay, but you studied them.
And after dealing with frozen and thawed and frozen and thawed and frozen and
Yeah,
thawed fish,
yeah,
I just
yeah.
don't want to eat them. And
Right, right, okay. So
agree.
you were forced to eat a lot of bad fish when you were a kid?
I wasn't forced, but I just never had an acquired taste for
Yeah,
them.
okay.
I'm on the same boat as you, literally and figuratively.
That
I'm
makes
not
it
in one.
actually, right?
Fish are friends, not food.
No, fish are friends and food. Just sustainably.
So,
I imagine if I had chicken as pets, I probably wouldn't eat chicken either, but I don't, so I do.
That said, for those of you who do eat seafood, there's a lot of help if you want to make choices that are better
yeah,
for the
sustainable.
oceans or more sustainably caught populations. So depending on what area you live in, there are regional guides. For where I live in the Monterey Bay area, the Monterey Bay Aquarium puts out the Seafood Watch Guide.
Yep.
Vancouver Aquarium has Oceanwise. I'm sure there are other similar types of programs other places as well.
Yes, those are fantastic places to start too. I know even on the East Coast, I use the Monterey Bay one to kind of get more information, and then when I go to the store, I try to double check to see whether it's farm raised or pole caught or whatever it is and understand. And they've gotten a lot better about labeling. Seafood is one of the most mislabeled foods out there, but there is a way to do it sustainably, so I think that's a great idea. So eat your fish, but have them to look at too. So I have a question around Davidson Seamount terrain. So are there lots of other interesting terrain features, or is it mostly flat? We know that it is volcanic in origin, and it is a fairly tall sort of underwater mountain.
Yes.
I do
Wanna
not.
zoom
We
in
are
there,
on
video?
the flanks of it right now, so we are seeing a lot more soft sediment. If we were to go up the mountain, we would see a lot more harder surfaces.
Oh, looks like we've
But
got
right now we're exploring these softer features along the flank and the slope of the bottom of the seamount.
trying to determine the tube worms. Tricky.
Gotcha.
I think they're serpulid, and then that's a horma. You always
It
know
might
this
be
thing.
hermaphrodite. It might be, I'm not sure.
Okay, full wide.
Hermaphrodite, it may be. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Mike.
Erica is going to take a dinner break, and Jennifer Brown's going to fill in for me for a short stint. I'll be back in about
is it
20
dinner
minutes.
time
So thanks,
already?
Jen.
How is that happening?
Oh boy, hi Jen.
Folks, the ship is just struggling a little bit, so I'm just going to sniff around and zoom on some stuff
Okay, sounds
while
good.
we're waiting.
Is going up or down an
We
option?
can go up or
since
down a
it's
little
not-
tiny bit,
Okay.
but we can only bring Argus down. Argus is down almost as low as it can go. It's just almost as low as so you can do a little bit of that, but
Okay.
a short leash.
Sounds good.
I'm going to zoom in there, video.
Ah. Okay, we knew this name. This was
squat lobster.
Oh, I recognize you, sea anemone, and yeah, there's a squat lobster down below it. Bolosera is that sea anemone. Yeah. And what else do we see in the sediment there? I see some little spirals, brown spirals up in the top of the screen. They might be poops.
It's a poops.
Okay, full wide. It's not really. Nothing's really steep here or
Looks
anything.
like poops.
Looks like poops. Fecal pellets.
Not crazy.
Fecal casts.
And they are so important to the environment. That's one of the ways nutrients are recycled back into the environment.
Jen, doesn't this look familiar from when we were here last year? Doing surveys?
Definitely. Hi, everyone. This is Jennifer. I'm Erica's dinner relief. And yeah, when we were here, before we headed over and found the rocky structure that the octopus were living on, we were going along some areas that looked a lot like this, though it wasn't as steep as this for as long, right? But we maybe just didn't continue up enough to see this kind of extended steep feature. But yeah, those kind of clay pancakes look very familiar.
Yes, exactly. This looks like another sea urchin we've got here. We've been seeing both regular urchins, which is what this is, and irregular urchins. Yes, please.
So down in the lounge, people were noticing that the irregular urchins reminded them a lot of heart urchins.
Yes, that's another name for irregular urchin, is heart urchin.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you have a sea cucumber too.
Oh, he does.
And
Good spotting.
Tube worm?
An anemone, maybe? What is that other on the right side, right?
One or the other of those, yes. Huh. Well,
Wait,
that's interesting.
Have you seen tube worms on these before?
Not tube worms,
I mean,
but
sorry,
we saw
the cucumbers?
the heart urchin. We saw 2 cucumbers trailing off of it.
Oh,
look, that looks like a munopsis down there. The little isopod that can swim down in the bottom right corner of the screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tiny.
Hello, everyone. You're in for a treat. You get the 12 to 4 shift.
Any more zoom?
Reunited. No more zoom. Yeah, we can zoom back out.
Oh, thank you.
Full zoom.
All right, full wide video. Thanks.
So you've got Annie Hartwell as my replacement while I go eat some dinner. Be right back.
We are not really sure how the cucumbers get on the sea urchin. That's a great question. We've seen a few of them on sea urchins so far, and that's kind of a strange idea. Maybe that they can get more food moving with the sea urchin, kick something up, or I don't know.
So we're headed to the second waypoint along these steeper isobaths, it looks like?
We're trying. The ship is moving ahead again, but it's having some trouble.
Okay. Yeah, we're
Zoom in there, please.
Trying to keep it in the tight contours. We don't have a bunch of control. They're pushing things the way that they can get some forward momentum.
Okay.
Ooh, he looks really neat.
It does.
I think it's just the lighting.
Wow.
Well, there is that ghostly grenadier.
Yeah, we've seen one earlier before the dinner
But he
shift.
looks so
So
much
his
lighter.
tail is darker than
Well, slight,
his
yeah, and
body.
the ghostly grenadier's tail looks a little darker from the photos that I've seen.
Yeah, I know. Taking watch relief.
There are only a few species of grenadier that occur this far down. This is one of them. Thanks for the zoom.
No problem. Okay, full wide.
Well, I think it's okay at times if we're going a little bit up and down slope. We don't have a anything in particular that we know we will find as the most interesting. So getting a wider survey of this area is okay?
Sometimes knowing what not is there is just as good as knowing what is there.
I've got a hello to Jennifer from Steven.
Hello. You happened to find me while I was doing dinner relief. This is good timing.
Look at that cute little jelly on the left.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of those little red jellies getting pushed along by the currents. We're just getting our ROV pilots are changing over after their dinner break.
So did we go to the first waypoint? That's where we started, right? At the end of our shift.
Right, I think we're headed to the second waypoint. I don't know how far away we are.
And on the journey, they've seen a couple of slump regions.
Yeah, it looks like this area has a lot of soft sediment that has slowly been kind of moving downhill. And we see some areas where there's little almost like cliff faces where it looks very much like clay. At least that's what we found last year when we actually tried to take a push core and you could just smear it like wet clay.
That light white stuff.
It's very light colors, sandy colored. Yeah, exactly. So, it looks like we might have some more either kelp there, I think, which we've been seeing not infrequently out here. If you think about it, there's a lot of kelp forests along the Big Sur coastline of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. And when storms come along and that kelp gets ripped out, it starts to float and drift. And at some point, as it decomposes, it loses that buoyancy and sinks to the seafloor. And then it's a great little source of energy and food for our scavengers here, like our sea urchins and our stars and the sea pigs and that kind of thing.
That like that white stuff over there. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, sort of like that, but in a larger kind of cliff. It kind of breaks off. It's almost like it breaks off and it's exposed when the sediments move downhill.
I've got a question about how does the topography of the seamount impact the currents?
Well, the seamount, kind of sticks up in an area where it's generally fairly flat. And so it can interrupt the current and cause that water from the deep to be diverted upward and cause localized upwelling. That's where deep water is raised up to the surface. Often that deep water can have a good amount of nutrients in it, and that can help to feed the phytoplankton or the plant plankton that lives at the surface and uses sunlight to make energy. So that those nutrients mixed with that sun can cause more phytoplankton to bloom, which then can feed more krill, and then those krill can feed more fish and birds and whales. So you can get a kind of, seamounts can do a little bit of a supercharging of the pelagic food web around them, and then that can increase the amount of marine snow that's generated, and then it's raining down to the seafloor and transferring that productivity to all these animals that live in the deep. And
also kind of just focusing on the effects that it has on the localized current. If you think a lot like a airplane wing, which is going to experience Bernoulli's principle, where your water or your air is going to move faster over the top side of the wing, or in this case the seamount, than it is around the sides of it, and so you actually get an increased flow in your bottom currents around the seamounts.
Very interesting.
Very cool. So it really does impact the ecosystem and how things are changing and moving around.
Yeah,
That's
so you've got
interesting.
all those different changes, say, in the water movement and how, and then as I heard you talk, Erica talking about earlier on this watch, the seamount itself is made up of a lot of rock, and where you see, and most of the seafloor in the surrounding portion of the ocean is soft and flat, like what we're seeing here, and relatively flat. So organisms that need that hard rocky substrate are going to be found in higher concentrations around the seamount than in other portions of that region. So you also get a change in the kind of species, community, and diversity around the seamount for a number of different reasons. Bottom type, currents, and another, just a very different place than the surrounding area. And where you have, say, rocky bottom, next to soft bottom, you have the soft bottom community, the rocky bottom community. Then we've seen rubble. We've seen these areas where the warm water is seeping. They seem to have kind of slightly different community structure. When you've got all that, it's called heterogeneity, or lots of different types of habitat close together, you get just overall your biodiversity is really elevated.
Yeah, and those currents can help carry some of those larval animals or stages to different areas where they might settle.
We've got a little purple star that just went out of view there.
A purple sea star.
Well, it looked like kind of purplish, maybe.
It did.
Deep reddish purple.
Yeah, you can see it on the bubble cam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is...
Looks a lot like the kind of star we get in the shallows called a bat star.
Would the advantage of being that dark color be like you blend into the dark really well?
I think so. It's definitely a color that's not easily seen in the deep sea. Red is the color that first, the red wavelengths of light is the first ones to be absorbed by the ocean, so you don't see red as red when you, even if you're like diving down, you know, in the pool. If you were wearing a red bathing suit, as you went down, it would look more and more kind of dark purple, and then just closer to black, because you just can't see that bright red color. You bring a flashlight though and turn the flashlight on, and then you'll be able to see the red again.
I couldn't find another book. Going to the other. Actually, maybe it's in Erica's prelim guide.
Just checking, is the water pump still on? Has it been on this whole time?
Yeah, it was started at...
That's a roger. It's still on?
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
22:38 is when we started at UTC time.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions coming in?
Let's see what we've got here.
Oh.
That was the one we saw last night.
Not too many questions. Steven is asking about kelp becoming marine snow. So the urchins who kill kelp must create a cycle, and the seamounts would push away kelp.
We'll do a few more steps here, and then I'll do the line.
Instead of going with the contours, do you want to go across them so you can continue going straight for a little while and go uphill and see what it looks like higher up? Would that be easier? Or?
It's mainly just ship maneuverability at this point. So any direction is not great.
Okay.
More sea stars.
I just had one of these guys up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. That star that we just saw looks a little bit like it could be
Zoom in there if you want.
Terra
Yeah.
star or Hymenester. Yeah. Is that this? Actually, kind of looks like this one as well.
And Jen relieved me. I'm
Same
back.
star.
That was a pretty star. It's likely Terrastra. Is that what we said? Terrastra?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good looking star. Thanks, Jen.
Do they have that spiky back to prevent organisms from establishing their like foothold on them?
I don't know if that's the purpose, but maybe it acts that way. I do, every once in a while I see some dirty stars, so they do get sediment on top of them. I don't know about organisms.
Okay.
And
That
they
would be
do
really
look-
awful if someone just
It's
like
not
came
too
and
pokey.
lived on you.
Scaly.
All right, thanks for the zoom.
Very cool. We have a question from John in San Francisco. He
That
says
looks
he
like a
has
pregnant
absolutely
grenadier.
loved watching Nautilus live since June and is going to miss us since this is our last dive of the year. Do we have any suggestions of other dives he could watch? Does anyone else know any vessels that are going out?
I think the Okeanos is going out in November.
Okay.
Can do
The Falcor is out now.
laser zoom there if you want.
I'd love to, thank you. That one looks like just had a meal or it is pregnant.
It does look like a fat
Is there a
fish.
way that you can identify her to be a female?
No,
Just by
I
looking at
can't.
her?
No, you cannot.
How long would fish gestation typically take?
I would have to look that up. I don't remember.
Looks like it's got a tattoo on its fin.
So these guys tend to have parasites with them, either copepods or other parasites. I don't know what that little circle is.
Yeah, I think that was the tattoo that Dan was just referring to.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
All right, thank you.
I've got a question. Can you tell us about these books you're looking at? What kind of info do they have? Are they region specific? Where do you get them?
What was the subject?
She's talking about the field
Book?
guides that you made.
Oh.
Are you guys looking at any books back there?
All right, so we have two different field guides. One is specific to Davidson Seamount, and it can be found on the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary website under the Research Technical Report section. We also have one for Sur Ridge, which is a little bit shallower than here, but they do share a lot of the same species, and that is also available on that website. And then if you Google MBARI Deep Sea Guide, the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, they have a great online repository of deep sea images and taxonomy. So we are tapping into all three of those for some of these IDs.
The NOAA Okeanos Explorer has a really good field guide as well.
They do.
Yeah.
Okeanos Field Guide. All right.
There we go. So there are a number of different field guides that kind of give us a good idea of what to look for in identifying species that might be very similar. Some of them are region specific. Some of them will cover large areas. So it depends on what you're looking for. And then it sounds like a lot of those can be found online. So super easy. You can help us identify
okay, I
fish
just power
too.
cycled the TDO.
Hi there. We have a question about the differences between sea stars and starfish. I don't think there are any differences. It's just a difference in how we talk about them, so the difference in the names.
Yeah, so starfish is sort of a misnomer. It's not a fish.
Yep.
So scientists tend to call them sea stars, but we know what you mean when you say starfish.
Yes,
it's a
it
generally
is.
used term.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still a
missed the sea
starfish,
star?
but we've liked to change the name to sea star because of the fact fact that it's no longer a fish. So when we say that, it's the same thing. Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration is currently on a cruise. You can find them on YouTube. So there's another vessel that is out.
Yes, and they are exploring in the National Marine Sanctuaries right now.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah, they are on the NOAA ship Reuben Lasker with their ROV Yogi. And they are making their way down from San Francisco, or even farther north, from up in Oregon down to San Diego. And they started the first week of October, and they'll end the first week of November. And for the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, they'll be exploring some of the canyons off our coastline.
Ooh, canyon exploration.
Can we zoom in on that?
Do you
Zoom in
see
on that pink thing below the lasers? Oh, it's a
It's
coral.
a fly trap anemone. Okay, we should probably zoom.
Yeah, we should zoom because we are saying two different things.
Also, hello, Amanda. This is Amanda Kahn, and I'm back. Dinner was delicious.
Yeah, I think it's a black coral.
I agree. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Ah, it's right next to a piece of poop, too.
Poop.
Cucumber poop, I would guess. Yeah, black coral. Thank
Laying
you for
on
the
the side.
zoom.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, and on our field guides, I was told not to forget Ocean Network's Canada field guide. So they have one as well.
Well, that was a good one, yes.
Are these sea pens or lepidisis that we're seeing? The tall...
The sticks?
Yeah.
We'd have to zoom, actually. It's a good question. This one is Bathypathes, is a black coral. Oh, there's a sea cucumber behind it.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
I love them. Sea cucumber.
And just to the right of it, there was a stick.
What is that dark thing that it's attached to?
It's
a rock?
I think it's a rock.
I think it's a rock.
We haven't seen some of those, huh?
No, we haven't.
Can you
A
zoom
rock
on the
rock.
squat lobster, please, and get a good imagery of that? Maybe with iris down a little more. Yeah. Apparently the sorts of structures on the carapace are helpful in identifying the species. So one of our scientists on shore said that they might be able to help identify it if we got this. So thank you for that. Cool. Also, this is a good close-up for the black coral. It has sweeper tentacles on the stalk.
Wow. Well, that's new to me.
Same.
Because we typically see the sweepers on a bamboo coral called Isidella.
Is this reproductive as well? Those eggs in the sort of in the middle branches?
Yeah, right.
I don't know if those are eggs or not. The white things?
Mm-hmm.
No, the white things or the orange things?
I thought the white things.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, what you guys see here, those tentacles hanging off, I haven't seen them in this species before. There's a
haven't either.
species that's common at Sur Ridge called Isidella tentaculum, and that one has these sweeper tentacles. And for that one, they seem to function in a defensive way. So the tasty polyps up above are protected from sea stars or other benthic animals that would crawl up otherwise and eat them by these sweeper tentacles, which are full of batteries of stinging cells.
Yeah.
Thank you for the zoom.
You want me to zoom in?
No, she's stepping back again, is she?
Yeah. It's not intentional.
So we're just cruising along a depth contour to explore for what we might see in terms of soft bottom and maybe some rocky outcrops. So that below, I think, Amanda, is what, see that it looks like there's two anemones together? That's what we were misidentifying as maybe a, they're just, it's just a behavior.
Before you go down to look at that though, just to the left of the lasers is that dark worm-shaped thing. If we could zoom on that, I feel like I can faintly see in the mud the trail that it left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the circles.
So this is an acorn worm, and some of them, when they poop, they make these spiral fecal pellets. So they start in the center and they start moving in spirals, basically, pooping as they go.
That is amazing.
Neat?
Yes.
That is definitely what we saw. Thank you for the zoom.
Okay, coming wide. Definitely a spiral pattern.
Crop circle.
Yeah, crop circle, right.
Can you imagine if the worm wasn't there?
Uh-oh.
Why is there a bullseye? And then we were, oh yeah,
No, we don't need
okay.
to zoom in on that. I was just mentioning that was the Baliacion or whatever. Stuck together.
Another urchin?
So we expect this dive to last at least another 24 hours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
Yeah, someone on Nautilus Live was asking if we'd be on tomorrow. They want to show their students. So.
Yes.
Aw, yes we will.
We will.
But yeah, this is the last dive of the season. And
Nope,
these
it's
are
one
the
more.
last hours we'll be spending underwater.
Bad things happen when you call it last dive.
Sorry. This is our final dive.
We got one. This is one more dive.
We're not
This is a dive.
superstitious, but it doesn't hurt to be safe.
That white thing swimming by is a
Yeah.
squat lobster.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hello, ratfish. Oh.
Rat tail.
Oh, that's a rat tail.
rat tail. I was going to say I finally recognized them, and now I can't figure out their name. Hello, grenadier.
Grenadiers and rat tails are the same?
Grenadiers and rat tails are the same, but rat fish is a different
Right.
fish.
That's the chimera.
Yeah, they have little wings and are cartilaginous.
And
Yes.
big,
Yes.
huge eyes.
Danny. Is Danny there?
Danny, are you there?
Negative.
Oh,
The
focused.
SCF position is vacant.
Okay.
I see. I missed her. I was looking for a dad joke. I think she had a stockpile of them from the last
I'm deleting
hatch.
them right now.
Gone. What did the beach say as the tide came in?
What?
Long time, no sea.
I thought you were going to say it said nothing, but it waved. Actually, my response was bye, son, but that's the punchline to a different joke.
Oh my goodness.
What did the buffalo say when his offspring went to school? Bye, son.
How do you cut the sea in half?
How?
With a seesaw.
The seesaw.
You're on a sea roll. So, why do Nidarians sleep so soundly?
Why?
Just the sea is
Miles
silent.
just put himself into detention.
The sea is silent.
Works with Tina Force as well.
Yeah.
Works with T4s as well.
That's right. It does. I'll have to try that on the next one I meet.
Why don't oysters share their pearls?
Why don't what?
Oysters share their pearls.
Because they're shellfish?
It takes one to know one.
Oh, you guys. This is good.
So,
No,
Miles, are
it's
you
not
making
good.
these up, or do you just remember them?
I'm reading these.
He's
Oh,
got
you're
a-
reading
Ah.
them. You're
He's
cheating.
got a pocket
I'm
full
fine
of
with
jokes.
this. Ooh, there's a little
Great.
ledge. Those are exciting.
Yeah.
But you made up Nidarians.
Yeah, how about we do some science here?
So what soft-bodied inverts that we typically see in the deep sea have we not seen yet? We've seen the urchins and the cucumbers and the sea stars and the worms. What
Are
other-
there priapulids?
What's
in
a
the deep sea?
priapulid?
Peanut worms.
Sipunculates.
Oh, that's sipunculates.
Yeah.
Are there sipunculates?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I would say likely yes, but I don't know. Sipunculates are called peanut worms. They're also now considered annelids, although that still shuffles around a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. They have segmentation that of their nervous system during larval development.
Okay.
And segment formation is one of the key characters of segmented worms. Yeah. But I'm not sure
Soft-bodied
if they're here.
organisms.
What other soft-bodied organisms have we got?
So we got a squirt. Did
A
we
sea
collect
squirt?
the squirt?
Collect one, no, but we've seen them.
We've seen them.
Yes.
Okay.
A squirt being a
Last
tunicate?
night's dive, we
Tunicate,
saw
yeah.
that predatory tunicate.
That's
On
right.
last night's
Of course
dive.
we did.
That
Yes.
was very neat.
That's right. Are there flatworms in the deep sea? Platyhelminths. But you're going to tell me they're now annelids too.
Presumably, they are not annelids too. Although they don't have Acela anymore within them.
Okay.
Acela has been pulled out and is now sister with Xenoturbellida to make Xenocoelomorpha.
Okay.
And those are basal bilaterians before the protostome, deuterostome sort of branching.
I see. Wow.
All these words, right?
Yeah. You all right for partial zoom?
Oh, I'd love partial zoom.
Yeah, Roger. Waiting on the boat. So.
Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, there's an urchin and a squat lobster.
Yeah, that bright white guy is a squat lobster. It's a type of crustacean. And the bright white ones are ones that are found in the deep sea.
Ooh. Yeah, when you get down to it, there's a lot of stuff on the sediment.
It's also interesting that the sediment is different colors. So you can see that there's kind of that grayish sediment there just below the ledge, and then it turns more brown.
I think that's what is being sheltered from the stuff that's trickling down above.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So that might be a bit of that clay
You
visible.
Yep.
Sorry everyone, I have the hiccups. I'm not sure if you can hear that in my microphone. I'm trying. All right, and here we've got a regular sea urchin versus an irregular urchin. They're still cool.
Yes.
Not. There's a little something down below the urchin. You see that soft
I can.
tissue-like thing? I'm not sure what that is. Oh,
I mean,
there's
a lot of
tiny
structure in that clay, if that's what it is. There's another urchin.
There's a tiny, tiny, probably tube worm just below the lasers. Really small, but probably a burrowing tube worm. Oh, to the left of that was what I was looking at. Yeah, that little thing.
Oh, the white thing?
Uh-huh.
Let's get him in focus.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, what kind of worm is that?
That's all the zoom I got.
Okay. No, that's good. That's enough for me. I recognize that worm shape. I just can't remember what family it is. Thanks. I'm going to look up some worms.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, look at that thing in the center there.
Yeah, okay. Coming wide. No. Okay.
There's a grenadier.
Where'd he go? There he is. Okay. Okay. Okay, coming wide.
Antonella, could we take a look at the exhaust for the pump?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's not. Oops, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Is that
Yep.
good for you,
Yep,
Dane?
that's good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'm
Dane, how many hours will we be collecting water?
10 hours, so we will go until 1:38 in the morning.
So how many hours do you have now? So I don't have to do the math.
Let's see. So
You have like
we started at 22:38. So 22 is 2, 3.
you're a third of the way there.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, more like a quarter of the way there.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
Dad jokes.
No, no, no. We don't need any of those. There we go.
Ooh, that is a beautiful evening sun over the Pacific.
So we have.
Alrighty, I am back from dinner and it was delicious, but I heard there was a dad joke saved just for me. So what did one tide pool say to the other tide pool?
What did it say?
Show me your muscles.
That was a good one.
That was a pretty good one.
So good.
Let's see. Let me go all the way back. You guys have asked so many questions. Yes, the stars are absolutely beautiful out here once it gets dark. It's not quite there yet. Thank you so much for watching. Do the ROVs have beacons on them in case of a catastrophic event? I don't think they have beacons.
I think they do, actually.
They do, yeah.
Yep.
They do have beacons.
Yep.
So there's
What's the general question here?
we can get it better.
Do
The ROVs have beacons on them in case of a catastrophic event?
Yeah, so what our USBL beacons transponders that we use now will default over to a battery-powered mode in the case of a power loss. So we can track them for 24, 36 hours in the event of a power loss.
Cool.
There's also another thing we call a beacon. It's a strobe. So if the vehicle were to become, if Hercules were to become detached and surface on its own at night, we should be able to see it.
That's good. Don't really want to see that happen, but glad we're prepared for it.
No, I've been on a boat where we misplaced the ROV.
Oh no.
I'm sure Dan may have been as well. It happens from time to time.
Never lost one yet. 3 decades.
Always prepared.